Now, this next part is absolutely hilarious. It literally seems like Jake Tapper just wants to grill into Tim Walz like he does not like this man or something. Watch.
It was easy to know what a Democrat was. They stood with the working class and labor. Republicans were country club and for the rich. Today, you ask people, they don't. We have a 29% approval rating.
Yeah.
It doesn't help us any that Donald Trump ends up with a 25% approval rating. We have to get back to the core issues, that this is about making America prosperous and stable and innovative for everybody.
Well, what do you make of the criticism that one of the reasons why your party was so resoundingly rejected last November is because Democrats were gaslighting the country, saying that inflation was not a big deal, heralding Bidenomics. Not only Biden, but Kamala Harris was heralding Bidenomics, pretending that there wasn't a problem at the border. And then fundamentally, this idea that President Biden was up for another 4 years of the job, while Americans in poll after poll for year after year were saying he's too old to do the job. Your party stood against all of those things.
Again, I love the particular usage of your party by Jake Tapper, trying to make it seem he's some impartial reporter. It's like if somebody lies about you, slanders you, discredits you for 8 years straight, and then just says, nope, I didn't do that, and flips their tone because they see that there's some monetary advantage in it. It shows the level of grifting and lack of ethics that the people in the mainstream media really possess. People like him were the mouthpiece for all of these Democrat lies. But I love how Tim Walz is on here thinking he's about to get a softball-friendly interview, and he just seems surprised and caught off guard that Jake Tapper is even asking him these kind of questions. The Democrats have gotten so used to expecting baby treatment from their friends in the legacy media that whenever they get presented with a real and genuine question, they feel offended. Ugh, you're asking me a real question? What are you, Fox News? Now Jake Tapper tries to get him to bash his running mate Kamala Harris and comment on her extremely smug and disgusting "I told you so" statement, and listen to what Tim Walz has to say about it.
So we heard your former running mate Kamala Harris say she's not here to say "I told you so," although obviously that's what she was saying about all the Trump chaos. We're saying, I have to say though, what does "I told you so" really mean here? I mean, people heard her message. They did not vote for her. She lost every battleground state. You yourself have criticized the Harris-Walz campaign for being too cautious. She may have told the American people, she may have warned the American people, but she didn't do it compellingly enough to win.
That is the absolute point. And look, when I criticize, I'm criticizing myself. I own this. I'm part of the ticket. And somebody has to come up with a strategy. I think this is exactly right. This is the thing. Look, Democrats, it was a good night in Wisconsin. I was over there. We saw that happen. Donald Trump's doing this. Just to be clear, nobody on the Democratic side is celebrating this, and those folks in the street are not celebrating that Donald Trump's making all these errors. I think what the vice president's saying is that was pretty self-evident that he was going to do that. I do think the challenge for Democrats, and this is, I think, a structural problem that's going to take a lot more thinking, why, with all of that out there, did they not think we were any better than that? And they didn't.
What he said is what I've been saying since the election. All of the name calling, all of the vilifying, all of the character assassination of Donald Trump. Why, after all of that, did the American people overwhelmingly pick that guy that you characterized as the second coming of Hitler over you? That is a Democrat problem, yet they refuse to have any introspection about how they can fix the fundamental flaws with themselves. And every piece of moral superiority they thought they were holding on to by a thread was kicked out from under their feet by Joe Biden on his way out of office. And Tim Walz saying that the left isn't out here trying to celebrate bad things is a complete lie. In the video I made of his son humiliating him, Tim Walz is jumping around a stage, celebrating and thrilled about the decline in Tesla stock. Democrats are celebrating firebombing Tesla dealerships because they think they're so morally superior and righteous that their ideology not winning the election was such a cosmic injustice that they are entitled to remedy it by any means. The left has become such mean and vindictive people. They're just hoping more planes fall out of the sky so they can feel righteous about their election vote. They are praying that Donald Trump's tariff strategy fails and actively cheering against the possible resurgence of the American middle class. We've already seen clips of people like Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett saying that she was rooting for both Canada and Mexico in a trade war against the US, when all we asked for was increased border security to stop fentanyl from killing our citizens and some equal trade. I know I'm beating a dead horse because we've talked about this extensively, but the Democrats' Trump derangement and Elon derangement syndrome has caused them to become aggressive anti-American agitators. And it's all because their pretentious worldview didn't win out in November.